Hiya, this is Claire from My Mature Student Life. Thank you very much for coming back. I hope you enjoyed this video. So this video is not about it's not about being a mature student. This is about raising aspirations today. So it is, I suppose, accessible for anybody. I'm particularly concerned with our finances. It's a subject that I'm really, really passionate about, and I really believe in, and I suppose I kind of live that message as well. So for years and years, I worked in schools where I worked with young people on raising aspirations, and it just so happens that everywhere I go, I kind of see that now. Um, so over the past couple of weeks, I've had a few conversations with people, and I noticed things about people. So one of the conversations I had was with a mum who goes to school. I do the school run with, and she said that her aspiration was to be a teaching assistant. And I kind of looked at her and thought, is that it? You know, you want to earn between £7,000 and £10,000 a year for the rest of your life, and that's what you are aspiring to, and that's what you think you're worth. I spoke to another young person who said that his aspiration was to earn £20,000 a year. I spent years with young people who didn't have any aspirations, who didn't know what they wanted to do, didn't know what the possibilities were, but knew that they could never own their own home, that they had no intention of owning their own home, they had no intention of working, and that's kind of how it was. Um, because it had never been bred into them that they were worth any more than that. So I suppose my question to you today is, how much do you think you're worth? Um, and I would encourage anybody to start thinking about financial freedom. I believe that it is possible to have financial freedom, and I am working on a 10-year plan at the minute with my husband in order to make sure that we do have financial freedom at the end of that plan. And I do have financial goals of what I want to earn, where we want to be. And another young person asked me this week, he said, do you know what? I can't believe that you are so driven about money, and I feel really uncomfortable about it. Do you believe that money is more important than people? And I said, no, that's not what I'm about. And I don't want that message to ever come across, because I am about investing in people, and I love people. But I love people so much that I believe they're worth more. And I would never, ever tell anybody that earning £20,000 for the rest of their life is okay, because it's not. If you're worth just that amount of money, then that's fine. But if you believe that you're worth more and that's what your aspiration is, then that's not okay, because we should be living according to what our aspirations are and reaching those dreams. And whether that means you do need to go back to university and put that into action, then that's fine, make it happen, but don't live in regrets. So yeah, so he asked me another question. He said, do you think finances give us happiness? And he come out with a classic quote, money doesn't give us happiness. And I said, yeah, it does. Absolutely. We would like to believe that it doesn't, and we will get told by lots of people that money doesn't give us happiness, because there are certain people around who maybe would not want us to have money and not want to be financially free, because that means that if we're financially free and we're not in debt, then who's paying anybody else's bills? Who's paying for everybody else's lifestyle? And you know what I'm talking about. You know how this world works. I don't need to educate you on that. But yet we still live in it. Yet we still seek to have debt. When I was younger, my parents from obviously the last generation told me to get in as much debt as I could, and to max out my mortgage, and to make sure that I was living like that. And they would encourage me to have a job that is mediocre, boring, 9 to 5 every day, come home, eat, sleep, die, have kids, get a mortgage, and live the rest of my life paying that debt back. That's what they would have me do, because that's what they were told to do. However, for this generation, I think there's a new message, and I think that message is we can be financially free, and it is possible, because money makes money. Once you have money and you start investing it wisely into investments and assets rather than liabilities such as your home, such as cars, such as clothes, and whatever it may be, such as getting the next new thing. Do you really need that? Once we start investing our money into the right things, that money will start working for us. Money doesn't even exist. Money is a thing that is used to indebt us, to keep us where we should be. Mortgages are a way to keep us controlled, to keep us having to work 9 to 5 every day and never being able to leave the country. It's a way to control us. So let's be financially free. Let's make a 10-year plan and figure out how we're going to make that happen. It isn't going to happen if you don't plan for it. Simple. And it isn't going to happen without discipline and self-control. And with regards to self-control starts in the very little things. I'm a massive advocate of being in control of what you eat, being in control of your lifestyle, because in the small things we learn discipline. So before we start thinking about our finances, let's apply that discipline to our own personal lives. So a couple of messages from this. I think the message is raise your aspirations. What are you worth? I would encourage everybody to get a financial plan, to aim to be financially free within the next 10 years, because money does give you freedom. Money does give you happiness, because it will mean that you are not a slave to your mortgage or your rent or anybody else, but you can do what you want to do. And that doesn't mean living a life without responsibility, because I don't agree with that. I think, regardless of whether I be financially free, I have still got responsibilities, and I will still be investing into other people's lives, because that's part of my social responsibility. But it means doing what I want to do, and it means that I don't have to go to a job that I don't necessarily want and put money in anybody else's pocket. It means that money's going in my pocket and in the pocket of people that need it. So let's aim for financial freedom, guys. Let's raise our aspirations to quite considerably more than 20 grand a year. And let's do whatever it takes to get there. And it isn't a dirty word to talk about money. It will give us freedom. And I believe in freedom. So let's go for it.